Cracking the UPSC examination, it's not just about gathering information. It's having the right insight, clarity, and the ability to convert your conviction, your thought process into meaningful answers. And in my humble experience, there are two crucial subjects which play an important part in this, and that's ethics and essay. In these two papers, your personality, your preparation, they all come into the true fore and your character really shines up. I am Umesh, a faculty at Insights IAS. I've been teaching ethics and essay for some time now, and we will be delving deep into this subject in the next few minutes. Joining me today is someone very special who does not require much of introduction when it comes to UPSC, Mr. Vinay Sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Umesh.
sir.
Thank you, Umesh.
Now, when it comes to this particular subject, this video is for anyone and everyone. You might be at the thick of preparation or you might just be starting out. But if you watch this video, I genuinely feel you will have some good guidance that can help you in your process. And, sir, for the very first time when I met you, it was 10 years ago, I guess.
Okay.
And it was back in Attiguppe. You still had your classic bike. And I remember my first interaction with you was getting my essay and ethics answers evaluated. And I've observed you from that time till now. So many answers you have evaluated. And I know personally speaking, amongst all the GS papers, you have a special place for ethics as well as essay. In your opinion, sir, why do these two subjects matter a lot?
So, as you rightly put in the introduction, that indeed, they are also the test of personality, right? For me, why I read an essay when somebody brings one, I want to learn how this particular individual is looking at the topic, is treating the topic in his own unique way, right? I want to see the original views of the individual about the topic. So that is written. So I want to learn something. I want to engage with. It's kind of a conversation, right? So when I read an essay, it should be fresh, right? To be fresh, there should be something new. Maybe the arguments, the quality of arguments, the depth of thoughts, even the quality of examples, and also when it comes to ethics, there is something called ethicality, right, or ethical competence. The paper was introduced, of course, for the purpose of maybe to test these qualities. Some people display, some people may not be showcasing them in their answers. But when I'm again reading ethics answer, it is more about their deeper understanding of the moral philosophy, and how that moral philosophy they are applying that to the day to day issues, the day to day problems, and also how they have internalized, have they developed ethical perspective on everything that they see. So what happened in Pahalgam, you can have an ethical perspective and write 200, 300 words about it, right? The issue of Hindi versus Telugu, Hindi versus Kannada, Hindi versus whatever it is, language war, you can have an ethical perspective. But we read newspaper mainly from the so-called GS perspective in a linear way.
True, sir.
So I want to see that pure ethical perspective when it comes to all the ethics answers. Section A and case study. Case study is more of out of the box thinking, more practical, innovative approach. In essay, it's about, I feel the entire essay, when I'm reading an essay, it is glimpse, not just the glimpse, it is also understanding the very personality itself. The 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 personality behind that essay, particular essay. Unfortunately, most of the times this doesn't happen.
Right, sir. Because when I was a student and I was practicing my essay, most of the essay topics were basically technical in nature.
Correct.
Now, when you look at the essay, it has become a lot more philosophical. And since students are preparing primarily from a GS 1 to 3 point of view, they're unable to make sense of some topics such as thinking is like a game. It does not begin until you have an opposition. And when they miss this way of thinking, as you said, ethical way of thinking, it becomes a lot more difficult for them. And I think if they start trying to develop that philosophical depth, much of what they're facing will be a little bit more, it will be, I think, solved in a short span of time.
No, the problem is that What I would like to say, in addition to what I said earlier, in essay, multiple perspectives.
Right, sir.
What many people call dimensions. I call it as the perspectives, viewpoints. Right? There should be diversity in the viewpoints. Right? There is a topic. What I see most people justifying the topic with diverse examples. Topic is same, the idea is same throughout the essay, but you have diverse examples. They call it economic perspective. It's not a different perspective. It's just a different example for the same perspective. That is the topic. So then people think, I have brought economic dimension, political dimension, maybe ethical dimension, right? You are repeating the idea with different examples. So I think those kind of essay will never get in the going with the last year marks above 80 or above 90, right? There is no diversity of ideas. To develop that, I think a bit of extra reading, serious reading of the newspapers. Now, what has happened the last 4 5 years? What I noticed, since the aggressive advent of all online, resources and aggressive decentralization of the resources, people are relying on the not primary, secondary or even tertiary materials, not the primary sources. So you cannot bring originality, right? I can accurately predict, when somebody brings the essay, this is going to score these many marks, because I have understood what UPSC wants when it comes to the essay paper or even the ethics paper. They want originality. They want, again, I think you will agree that I would like to see people uh, quoting War and Peace, Leo Tolstoy. I haven't seen anyone doing that so far. Not even the Charles Dickens, maybe Oliver Twist or some other novel, right? At least Arvind Adiga, White Tiger or something, the latest, right? So all their examples are substandard, right? They will quote Sapiens copiantly,
And even this very famous book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
that, and Atomic Habits and all. They think that is the achievement, knowing something from the Sapiens book, Atomic Habit, and writing them. They don't know that majority of the competition is doing the same.
True.
Right? So I think some extra effort, again, it should have come from school, college days. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen in this examination, but at least they should be aware that this is some kind of a specific demand that UPSC has. I think people haven't significantly understood and haven't given importance to this particular aspect. So I keep telling, in addition to, if this is the philosophical topic, bringing ethical perspective or moral philosophy perspective or philosophical perspective, you need to bring psychological angle also. But look at the topic. If it is related to courage, happiness, fortitude or something like that, I think there is some kind of psychology you can bring. Maybe a literature angle you can bring. Definitely sociological angle, right? And in some cases, technology, relevant to the topic, not for the sake of bringing technology, right? So how technology is impacting, how technology can get impacted. It depends on the nature of the topic. So that I tell people to, reserve to the end before the conclusion, something like futuristic. That diversity is largely missing in the essays. All the examples they give is picked from the toppers examples, from conventional textbooks, and the originality is lost and the marks are stuck at 80 to 100. It can never go above 100 when there is no originality.
Absolutely true, sir, because I was going through the topper's mark sheet and there was one topper who caught my eye. This individual had scored 100 in the essay paper. In all other paper, the marks was very good. That is why they were able to get into the merit list. But nevertheless, I just wanted to ask you, even toppers as such, right? They are not able to do adequate justice to essay. And do you think it's just about them being overly attached to whatever sources they are and not being original in their answers, or is there anything else as well, sir?
See, one unfortunate thing I have seen in this examination, if somebody gets all India rank 1, 2, 3, without looking at their essay score, their essays are imitated. They might have scored 90, 100, 110. They're not the toppers in the essay. They're not a highest scorer in the essay paper. Many people do that. Now, to answer your question specifically, topper doesn't mean that they are equally good or better in essay paper or ethics paper. So some people have topped because of extremely good score in optional subjects. We have seen in the recent past only. and GS papers and GS plus maybe interview score. So I think they may be good with the conventional papers. They have been preparing long duration. They might have accumulated lots of depth and knowledge with respect to that. They are capitalizing on that. There is nothing wrong about it. Now, if somebody can distribute, if they can get edge in the essay paper, ethics paper, and the interview, it's a sure shot success in this examination. The reason is that majority people are not able to capitalize, in these three areas, right? Because of the lack of understanding, because of the conventional approach. So even if you score low marks in GS 1, 2, 3 slightly, essay you see like, rank 1 has 100. And then there are people who have scored 130, 135, 139 also. And majority topper you see, or even those who didn't top, the scores are between 90 to 100, right? With certain correct interventions, correct guidance, right practice, you can maximize 25 to 30 marks in the essay paper alone.
True, sir.
So which means it is improvement of 450 to 500 ranks. That's a huge thing, I think.
And one more thing that I've observed with students is they don't start their ethics or their essay preparation well in time. They try to give a lot more emphasis to GS 1 to 3 subjects as such, and they have this mindset that once I clear pre, ethics and essay will come very naturally to me. And once they do that, in terms of thinking process, in terms of writing, somewhere down the line, they won't be able to utilize their utmost potential. That's one thing. And the second thing is, as you correctly said, that there are so many sources available, they have outsourced their thinking process completely to these arenas, and that originality is somewhat lost. Apart from that, I also want to add, in terms of hobbies, in terms of habits, the current set of students that we see, maybe they jot it down to the excuse of having so many things to do on their daily basis. But I think they don't have that reading habit, they don't have the habit of watching movies or thinking from a psychological point of view. Keeping all these challenges in mind, what we have done in our program is, be it ethics or even essay, we will be focusing on giving them the conceptual clarity, and at the same time we will be making them right answers. The third and the most important thing is what they're thinking, how to apply them, keeping in mind the PYQ themes, and also possibly preempt what kind of themes might come. That is one more area where we are focusing. And in the essay program that we have as part of the IBC, we have kept dedicated days just for discussing those books that you spoke about. So it might be Dickens, it might be Jane Austen's, those works which I think is relevant for the present time, some of the movies which have a social and a moral message as such. And in terms of psychology, we have picked few psychological thinkers, and we will be discussing with the students how their thought process has a relevant significance for not just the examination but also the entirety of the process, including interview as well.
Good. So another missing part in most of the essays is the reasoning ability. What we call ability to analyze, ability to critically think. Some amount of creativity may be there, but for the arguments they give, there is no analysis for it. Analysis includes reasoning. Okay, why you are putting this argument? Giving reasons. The reason can be sourced from their own common sense. It can be sourced from it depends on the nature of the argument they are making. If it is like sociological, is it theory that justifies that argument, right? Is it some precedence, so event or something, or some kind of insight, philosophical? So that reasoning thing, in most of the essays, I don't see that. So I think that when it is part of the essay, at least in two to three areas, at least for 2 to 3 arguments, so that instantly elevates, in terms of my impression, right? As we said earlier, it is window to their personality. So this person can actually think deep, right? So they know what they're, but it gives the clarity, right? It shows the conviction. So he's making an argument and he's justifying it. So I think that should also be part of the guidance and mentoring, and specifically pinpointing that. So I don't see XYZ reasons for the argument you have made. They give a statement, they give an idea, and then there is an example.
Right, sir.
And there is another idea, there is example. So that idea is not analyzed or reasoned,
Mhm.
something like that. So do you agree with that?
Absolutely, sir. Because when you look at ethics as well as essay paper, these are so dynamic.
Hmm.
They're framed keeping in mind what is happening in and around this. And the whole merit of this examination is they want an officer who is not only good with the technical skills but has the ability to apply them in terms of what is happening. So at the present time, as you mentioned, at the international stage, we had Pahalgam happening. So what would Chanakya think at that point in time? What would probably Immanuel Kant think? Having the ability to reason from their point of view and at the same time having a stand matters a lot.
Correct.
But these days, what students are doing is they want each and everything to be spoon fed. I can understand that particular tendency of them. But in our program, the main aim is not only to give them concepts, is not only to give them knowledge, but help them to apply it in the examination. And I think that is where I feel that this program, IBC in its entirety, will make a lot more impact on students.
Mhm. So another area I think with respect to essay, what I notice is that uh, this is the most difficult thing to do, developing your own original style of writing,
True, sir.
right? So many people is kind of copy paste. It looks like
Mhm.
copy paste. Now people are told in the introduction you write a story.
Yes, sir.
Everyone writes. There is nothing wrong in writing story, but can you write a story? Have you done that before? Have you practiced writing stories? It can be one paragraph story, two paragraph story. They directly come and experiment,
Mhm.
in the essay paper.
Right, sir.
So sometimes it is grammatically incorrect. Sometimes the sentence formation is incorrect. Sometimes it doesn't make logical sense. The flow in the story.
Mhm.
Sometimes the story is nothing but a big fat example for the topic itself. You have a topic on the top, then you are writing two to three
Mhm.
paragraphs, some hypothetical story, cooked up story, which is nothing but
Mhm.
direct justification of the topic.
True, sir.
There is no twist. There is
Mhm.
nothing new in the story.
Mhm.
So I think when somebody consciously tries to
Mhm.
develop their own original style of writing, I think it requires a bit of original
Mhm.
reading and also original practicing outside
Mhm.
the essay. I keep telling everyone essay is something is given stepmotherly treatment
Mhm.
by all the aspirants. So you look at the effort they put for GS 123. Within GS 1, let us say the geography or
Mhm.
modern history or world history, you put so many hours into that. But essay, now and then you practice and then you expect to score. No. So if you want to 130 plus, I think yeah, utilizing this course, but not just for the content part, practicing and taking individual mentorship guidance
Mhm.
is, I think, very crucial.
Absolutely, sir. And to come back to what you said, just said, when we look at the introduction, most of the students they go for anecdotes or they go for imaginary stories as such. But what we have done in the last couple of years is teach students that introduction is not only these two methods. There are multiple ways.
Correct.
And in these multiple ways, one needs to have that wisdom for which particular essay topic, which method is best. And they also need to have the wisdom to pick out, okay, this is the area where I shine. This is the area in the midst of 13 or 14,000 papers that a evaluator evaluates, I can leave a mark. And that comes with an understanding and that comes with a lot of practice. And what we have done, the way we have curated the course, we will be giving them so many methodologies as such. We will be
So you'll
teaching
be
them
telling variety of ways to write
variety of ways
introductions.
to write the introduction, and we will also be giving them examples how you have to do it in these various ways. They can pick and choose
Hmm.
for a given essay topic which is the best way. And you said in the beginning,
Approximately how many ways are there, like
so
according to
for
you?
introduction, as of now in my classes I just go for 7 to 8 methodologies on how they can
That's
do it.
good. Hmm.
And apart from anecdotes, apart from imaginary stories, we have book references on which I really place a crucial emphasis.
That is important.
Right, sir. And
Again,
apart,
quoting the serious work, serious book.
true, sir. I was just reading a book, The Art of Thinking Clearly by Rolf. He
Hmm.
is a Swedish author. And when I went through the process, the book, when I completed it, he had mentioned almost 100 different types of cognitive biases that we have in our mind. And why is it that people are so much talented, but when they write their ethics and essay answer, it comes across as very crude is they bring all their cognitive bias. Just a couple of minutes ago, I was hearing Manjunath sir talking about the Hindu newspaper. Somewhere down the line, it puts a bias. Somewhere down the line, if they follow a person, they start to think like that person. There's nothing wrong as such, but at the end of the day, I think UPSC wants those people who can identify these biases and have the ability to overcome them. And
In fact, I'll go one step further.
right, sir.
I want them to include these cognitive biases in a psychological perspective.
Right, sir.
So depending on the nature of the topic. In fact, I had done few classes. I mean, 2018 or 19, I had done videos. So I had mentioned so many cognitive biases. So I think there is Dunning-Kruger effect.
True.
Right. So there is a confirmation bias.
Yes, sir.
Right. There are so many group things. There are so many biases. So I think context-wise, what the argument you are making is so significant. I'm just adding to that. While you are aware that you have certain cognitive biases, but in the topic itself, I think can you bring those biases as arguments or something?
Yeah, we can definitely do that, sir. Because in 2024, there was this topic, a very famous topic, social media. Social media is creating a sense of FOMO in people and inculcating in them a sense of loneliness and
In the
depression.
topic, you can. Yeah.
Absolutely, we can do that. And if you look at the most in my on a daily basis, I evaluate at least 10 essays per day. And one topic that students usually write quite a lot is on that topic. So a ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ship is made for. Here also there is a lot of psychology to explore, but that is an angle which is rarely spoken about from the student's angle. And if you look at the essay paper, why I like essay as such is UPSC is clearly indicating what they expect. In 2022, there was a very beautiful topic. The poets are unacknowledged legislators of the world. Despite UPSC telling them what it is that they want in the answers, somewhere down the line, they're moving away from it. And keeping all these demands of UPSC, keeping in mind the target. As of now, we have fixed that in essay, no matter who the student is, it might be a student writing this time or next time, we want them to target 140 as a minimum in essay paper. And when it comes to ethics, I have seen own students of mine who were part of IBC, they were stuck in the range of 90 to 100. But once we implemented whatever philosophy we just spoke about in the last couple of minutes, from 90, they were able to increase their marks to 125. And this time around, a student went a step further and was able to score 134. It's not the highest marks, but that is a marks that I'm incredibly
IBC
proud.
student.
IBC students, 134.
Did he or she get a rank?
Yeah, yes, sir. He got a rank and he will be getting the job that he always wanted. So I'm very happy for him. So we have curated to provide the best in the given 10 days so that when they leave this course, they have utmost confidence in terms of answering any kind of paper that UPSC gives. And even when they go to interview, they should have that sense of calmness in terms of overcoming any challenges that they might face. Because when I look at ethics, essay, and as you said, optional paper, at the end of the day, they determine whether you will be in the holy PDF, and in that holy PDF, what will be the extent of rank that you get.
So again, how many essays you recommend one should write between prelims and mains?
Sir, in my humble opinion, if they have written essays for at least last 6-7 years, they should not leave anything. So I think around 50 essays might be a good go.
50 essays.
50 essays. And even if they're not writing a full-fledged essay as such, at least thinking about it, making a skeletal framework as such. That brainstorming is very important. I've seen some of my students, the moment I give them a topic, they don't brainstorm. They just dive into it.
Correct.
And once they do that, I think somewhere down the line, it becomes a very haphazard process. Because essay, it's not just an art, it's also a science as well.
Correct.
So even if they're not writing a full-fledged, at least the brainstorming process.
So I think I remember like 2 or 3 years ago when I had done a session in Delhi, I had recommended app Blinkist.
Yes, sir.
For them to explore so many, top books, world's best literary works, or non-fiction works also. So there they can directly get, core ideas from these books. So if they don't have time to read all these books now, I think when you ask them to practice so many essays, there should be, some kind of original
Yes, sir. Keeping this in mind itself, in the essay program that we have, let us say I'm going to take it for 10 days.
Mhm.
There will be at least one day where I will be discussing the top literary works. It might be related to Charles Dickens or Shakespeare's King Lear, because in that King Lear drama, we have so much of psychology
Correct.
that we can understand and also have the ability to replicate. So we have identified certain literary works.
So most of his plays we can see even in Macbeth also.
Macbeth, sir, King Lear, Macbeth, we have Tempest as well,
Tempest.
right?
Wow.
When power, usually Manjunath sir likes to use this dialogue a lot. Power
Mm.
corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. In King Lear, in Tempest, you have so many evident
Correct.
incidents related to that. So
Mhm.
we have a dedicated day just for discussing these things, sir.
Good. Very good.
And hopefully we will have the highest marks from essay and ethics this time around when we see the mains results coming out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if someone is smart enough to understand the significance,
Mhm.
utilize the program to the best of his or her ability, and make use of the expertise here through mentorship,
Mhm.
one can definitely score highest marks.
Right, sir. Just to add to that, the expertise, if I have to simplify it, by the end, they will have the conceptual clarity, they would have practiced quite a lot, and apart from that, they would have understood how to apply what they have learned. And one thing that I have observed with Insights compared to any other institution I've worked for, it's the mentorship process. Our students, at any given point in time, they can always meet us, get their doubts resolved, their answers evaluated. All these things will be part of the package that we are providing, and hopefully, we will be able to churn out some good results and make sure that the students do come out and do realize their dreams soon
I
enough.
just hope they start writing more original stuff. Even when sometimes they come to show us,
Mhm.
imagine, like you said, you read 10 essays. There was a time I used to read 10 or 20, 30 essays when I was in
Right, sir.
thick of the things. Reading the same thing again and again and
Mhm.
again, at least to save us of that boredom,
Mhm.
right? So I think they should start writing more original essays. Of course, it has definitely positive result in the exam, but at least to have intellectual conversation, I think this can be the beginning.
Right, sir. And when they read more, write more, that ability to self introspect
Correct.
improves a lot. And when you look at
And
essay,
it helps in interview also.
absolutely, sir.
Mm.
And most of the books that I've read, most of the books that are celebrated, the self introspection makes a lot of difference. A book where you're reading and it makes you think at a personal level, that's a book that you have to cherish for a long time.
All the best, Umesh. All the best for your course,
Thank you, sir.
and all the best for your students.
Thank you, sir.